Oh, and I have a special announcement too about corpse collection at the end of the pond.
Okay.
Something we're all gonna want to hear.
Potentially. Um, where were we? Oh, guilty pleasure. Um, I'm not ashamed of it. I don't give a fuck. But my mom's love.
Oh
I am
man,
a
that's not.
fucking. I'm a fucking mama's boy, bro.
Do you
I
still cuddle
love
with your
my
mama
mother.
though? You still cuddle with your mama?
Hell, bro, I will crawl up in that girl's lap right now, homie, if she was right here right now. I swear to God, bro, I take my mom out on dates. I
I take my
call her all
mom
the
out on dates
time.
too.
Bro, is that a
Bro,
guilty pleasure?
bro, okay, well, when you got the siblings I got, yes, because like, oh,
Oh.
you're her favorite. She'll do anything for you. Me. It's like, dude, because I love my mama, bro. I talk nice to my mama. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they cuss at her and shit, bro. And they call her like all kinds of names.
Oh, bro.
Like,
Yeah, we
dude, what the
can't do
fuck?
all that. We're not
I'll
doing all
fuck
that.
you up. That's my mama. Like, you know what I mean? They're lucky they're all born before me. That's the only thing they get away with. But other than that, like, dude, I'll fuck you up. Don't talk to my mama like that. Don't you
Facts.
dare. Like, bro, like when my nieces and nephews, like, oh, you know, because they call her Sweet Pea. Like, oh, Sweet Pea this, Sweet Pea that. I'm like, hey, that's my mama. You better chill the fuck out. Like, you better chill out. That's my mama. Like, you can vent, but you better watch your fucking mouth.
Low key,
Uh,
I need to. I need to like. I need to like lay in my mom's lap soon, cause I haven't done that in a long time.
because the other guilty pleasure I was gonna say was the love of a good woman, and it doesn't
That's a
have to be
guilty
romantic.
pleasure.
That's not and not romantically, right? But the love coming from a good woman is a guilty pleasure of mine, right? And it's like, well, what good woman has ever showed me the love that I really like? I could really appreciate has been my mom. My mom. That's my mom. She knows what I need. She knows when I need it, and she knows how to deliver it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And there
bro.
you go. Love you, Ma. I hope you watch this podcast one day and you're not ashamed of me.
Wow,
And I hope that you
jeez.
like I hope that you like this part because I've said some disparaging shit about women on this podcast. But it's all in fun and jokes, dude. Jesus Christ.
All in jokes. It's all a
It's
joke.
all
It's all a
jokes.
prank.
It's just jokes, dude. Jesus Christ. Um yeah. Hey Damo, you're gonna have to sing, bro, for your birthday. I
Fuck
need to
no.
hear I need to
No
hear a I
shot.
need to hear a singing. I need to hear a
No,
recording.
bro. That's what I'm saying. I should have just fucking changed my shit. I could do the worm. I could do this little thing. This little. I could do this pretty well.
If it wasn't that, and I would say so, the love of my mom, right, is a guilty pleasure. I'm a big mama's boy, and another guilty pleasure I have, which is funny zero, but I
Mhm.
suck at it. I absolutely suck at it bad. Is I love singing. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I love
Yes.
singing. I love singing in the
Bro,
car, in the shower,
wait.
anytime I get it.
Did I say my guilty pleasure? No, I didn't.
No, I don't
You
think
know
you
what
did.
mine is?
What's that?
Singing Beyonce while I shower.
Jesus Christ.
That's facts.
Jesus.
Felicia said y'all should let me pull some tarot cards for you one night. Tarot cards? Is that a
That'd be
thing?
kind of cool.
I've had a tarot card reading done for the smoking section.
That'd be cool.
Really?
I'd be down.
hmm I've had it done twice, so I am absolutely down.
Okay, there you
Uh,
go, Felicia.
so ooh, these ones I really actually want to hear this too. So I'll start with Cisco. Best piece of advice you were ever given.
Ooh.
If you couldn't do it, you would never have been given the opportunity.
That was pretty good.
You know who told me that? If you had to guess who told me that, who do you think who would tell me that? We both know them. You and I, Corpse.
Kazakowski. Yep, Mike Kazakowski. Shout out Kaz.
If you couldn't do it, you wouldn't have been given the opportunity.
That was a really good quote. That's a really good piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
That man changed my life, bro, for the better. I don't know where the fuck he is. He won't respond to any of my text messages, so fuck him. But he changed my life for the better. I love that man.
Try.
Go ahead,
Trying to
Damo.
think. I'm trying to think. One that I like comes to mind is the most is a more recent one that I've been thinking about a lot. is
Not a quote that you read though. It was a piece of advice that was given to you.
oh, a piece of advice that personally was given to me.
Right? That was the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess that's true. Yeah, true. Um, probably my mom said this just to like, just to worry about whatever you can control, and let the rest go.
Mm.
Serenity prayer, baby.
And I was like, damn, I struggle with that so much still, but it's something that I'm trying to get better at.
Shout out to Mama Zero. That prayer, serenity prayer, changed my life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the good.
And I heard
vibes.
that at a young age too, and it didn't bang the way it bangs now until later on in life.
It's
You know what I
so
mean?
good.
Like that's a
It's so good.
Yeah.
banging piece of advice.
Look it up
Um,
after Zero. After we get off the pod, look up serenity prayer.
Isn't it like allow me to something about allow me to know the difference? Like
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what
how it
exactly
ends.
it is, but
Yeah. It's so good.
it's a good prayer. I just don't remember the full quote, but it is a good prayer. What about you, Corpse?
Best piece of advice. Well, first, Felicia, my girl, Rick, I will get to you. Because there's a lot that you've dropped in here. Love you. Um, best piece of advice I think I've ever gotten. I think the one that resonates the most over these past few years is don't expect you from other people.
That's such a fucking good one.
Don't
That's such a
expect
good one.
you.
I
Yeah,
like that.
don't. And it helps you. And it kind of like I kind of looked at it like parallel with the Serenity Prayer because it's like I can't control other people's actions,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't hold the expectation that they'll behave the way that I behave when presented certain information or opportunities. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
Um,
and I've been always told like you're too nice, you're too this. Yeah, but it's because I don't expect it back. I don't give a.
mhm.
I only know how to be me. I don't
We
expect
talked about that.
shit back from you, bro. I really fucking don't. And that's a fun. That's another funny thing. It's like, um, recently there was a conversation about like going into certain things with expectations. Fuck them.
Like I said,
Fuck 'em.
Going into certain things with expectations, and that's why I stopped going into certain things with expectations.
hmm
Because when you expect something from somebody, you're not gonna get it, dog. You're not gonna get it. So that's why it's a blessing, whatever comes from it.
how is it that DMX said it? Expect everyone to be themselves, but trust yourself that you see them well. You know,
That was good.
so they're going to be themselves, but just trust that you see what you see. You know, red shit look green for us colorblind folk. You know what I mean? So when you see it, trust that you see that shit, bro.
Facts.
Even Sly had told me a piece of advice recently that I really took to heart was expect people to be people. They're human. Expect them to behave that way. And I was like, God damn, bro, yeah. They're just people out here. You know what I mean? I'll go expect a human to be human. Thank you, Sly. That one made a big impact on my life, and I don't think I ever shared that with you enough.
Yeah, bro.
Um,
Because we want people to understand where we coming from sometimes. You know what I mean?
Zero. What is the worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Worst piece of advice is probably that you shouldn't talk about things that affect you
Ooh.
because the people around you. I think it was something along the lines of like the people around you shouldn't be burdened with, like essentially it's not my fault that something happened to you, and I shouldn't get the brunt of it. I was like, damn. I was like, Jesus,
Ouch.
this is harsh. But I expected, humans to be human, so I didn't take it too harshly. I know why. I know why they said what they said.
And fuck them.
Fuck them. Save. What is the worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Bro, I'll tell you right now, dog. Work hard while you're young and make as much money as you can so that you can enjoy it when you're older.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. What a fucking lie, dude. um
I had
think
fun
the
in my
worst-
20s, though. I'll tell you that. I had fun in my 20s. I did. I had fun in my 20s.
I had fun in my 20s, bro. I think worst piece of advice I've ever gotten was you're fine the way you are. I think that's the worst. Or you're perfect the way you are. Don't ever change. I think that's some of the worst advice I've ever gotten.
Written in the back of your yearbook.
Yeah. Don't ever change.
Yeah, you are the best. Don't
No, I'm
ever
not.
change.
You're okay. You are okay. And I had to look at myself and say I'm okay. But everything about me is not.
Mhm.
Everything about who I am is not okay. Me, Putch, I'm okay. But the habits I built, the way I react to things, maybe the way I look at life in certain aspects, it's not okay. And it's okay to change. It's okay to change.
No, change is inevitable.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay to change even the most radical and drastic parts of yourself if you're presented with new information that resonates with who you are, right? Because who you are is okay, but everything about you ain't okay, right? And I think the worst advice I ever got was like, don't ever change. Always just stay the same, fuck that. Worst advice. It made me foolhardy. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck that shit. Okay.
Bro, this is where Punch is starting to get real giddy about the questions. I'm kind of nervous now. What the fuck? Ass or tits?
Cisco, my man, Save. One person right now. Who is one person alive that you would trade places with for a day? For one whole day.
Do I have to know them personally?
No.
One person I would change places with for one day alive. Wow, that's a really fucking hard question.
I hope so.
One person I would change my life with today for a
Trade
day
places
that's
with.
alive. Trade places with. I would probably say like Kai. I like Kai Cenat. I think he
I'd be wild.
I think he really like is just enjoying the fuck out of his life and having a like he every time that I see videos of him or whatever the fuck is going on his live streams or whatever, he's just having the best time with his friends and with his craft, and it just he looks like he's just really enjoying life right now. So if I could change life with somebody, my life with somebody for one day, it'd probably be him. Right now.
0. One person alive today that you would trade places with for a day.
I feel like I'd probably pick like I want to say like Elon Musk, but probably Bezos. Just to be rich as fuck and just piss so much money away just for a day. Like not, bro. He's making so much fucking money. It doesn't even matter. He would wake up tomorrow and be like, ain't nothing different. I got a different yacht, I guess, but
you wouldn't put a dent in it, bro. You wouldn't put a single dent in it.
I would be spending so much fun. I don't even know what I would do, but I would just start buying shit. I would just be like, go onto my own website. Do I get a discount on Amazon shit if I'm Bezos? But like, I would just, I don't know, bro. I would love to just walk into, I'd buy a Tesla because that'd be funny if Bezos owns a Tesla. That'd be super funny. I just go into like a car shop or whatever, like a Tesla shop, because I like Teslas. Build like just a ridiculous car, buy like go on like first class just to wherever the fuck I wanted to go, and just spend the day.
You wouldn't even go first class. You have your own fucking jet, bro.
No, I don't think I guess yeah.
You
You're
are
gonna tell me
wild.
right now you don't think Bezos has his own jet? You think he
I
flies
know
first
he has
class?
his own jet, but I'm just saying I want to go first class. I would just like I
You
don't know,
would pick
private
first
jets-
class over a private jet?
Yeah. 100%.
Hey, I'm calling up the PJ, baby. Hey, come pick me up.
I guess maybe if like
Got my
I don't
own
know
private
if-
runway at the crib.
I was gonna say, but I don't know if private jets have like their own. I guess maybe if you're Bezos, it doesn't fucking matter. I'll have my own chefs in there. Yeah, because I want to eat like good food.
Wait. You
On a
think first
plane.
class has the best food? Has better food than if you had a PJ?
No, I guess not. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like what's gonna be the best experience for 24 hours of just unlimited fucking money to me. What's like? I don't want to spare no expense. I want the best fucking food. Obviously, like either personal chefs or like just
A medium filet mignon with ketchup?
absolutely, and steak fries on top.
Oh my god. All right.
Wait, new background? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Who you picking, Corpse?
Hey.
what about
Person
you?
I would trade places with for a day. There's two, right? Conspiratorially, right? Just so I could be in there for a day, I would want to be the Pope.
Oh, wow.
I would want
I
to
don't know
be.
how I feel about that one.
I would walk straight down into the Vatican archives.
Yeah.
And just go through. I would
Every-
scour it.
Sick.
I need to see it, bro. I need to see where is it? Like, where are the truths of our world hidden? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, what's down there? You know, like that's the most guarded place on earth, fam. Like most guarded now, but for just to feel how their brain works and to see how all that goes, it'd be Elon Musk. Because he is.
I thought you were about
running,
to
like,
say Elijah, because I was gonna say Peanut. I was gonna say I would change places with Peanut for a day, but
yeah,
that would be
I mean,
fun.
and that because it's just so innocent to be a
it's
kid
so
again,
fucking
right?
fun. Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of fucked me up when I thought about it. Like to see me through his eyes.
Yeah. That's why I was gonna say Peanut, but I didn't want to get too deep. But when you said Eel, I was like, oh bro, he's about to say
Yeah.
Elijah. He took it from me.
To
God
see
damn
his
it.
to see his mommy and to see his siblings, see me through his eyes would be profound. You
Yeah.
know,
That'd be
but
wild.
Elon Musk for sure, just to see how does it work up there? You know,
yeah,
like
bro.
how,
That's some wild shit.
it's a supercomputer. Leave the
Bro,
man alone.
Yeah, when you hear the way that he talks about his thought process and like how his brain works, though, it sounds horrible. He's like, yeah, nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to be me. I'm like, damn, bro, that sounds so sad. But he's a genius. He's such a that's the price you pay at being a genius, I guess.
That's why they say it's lonely at the top, bro.
What was it? Your unique. How did I say it? Your unique. What was it? I said it on the podcast. Is like your unique personality is the atonement, or your loneliness. No, your loneliness is your atonement for your unique personality, or something like that. I can't remember how I said it on the podcast, but it was one of the sign-offs.
No, it's facts. That's facts,
yeah.
bro. That's why the happiest people are the most lonely.
Are the most lonely because they're so odd and strange in their own ways. You know, the Robin Williams of the world, the guys who could just laugh and make funny out of anything. It was lonely, like, you know what I mean? He was a lonely man in the end. Which is, to me though, Elon, to have all these different things going on, the discipline to do it over and over and over and over again, and just the bandwidth, because I can only handle a couple tasks at a fucking time, bro, before I start shutting
Bro.
down.
Yeah.
But we're talking about sending people to Mars. We're talking about building tunnels under LA. We're talking
Neuralink.
about Tesla. X,
Neuralink.
Neuralink, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh my fucking god! And I would love to be in his brain
Yeah,
for
bro.
10 minutes, bro. Let alone a
He's-
day.
He's trying to change the world in the one swing he has. That's crazy.
That's the
Yeah.
beautiful part about it, though, if you really think about it.
Yeah, man.
And he's
He
not
doesn't
like
look good, he's
loud
good.
and rambunctious and fucking like over the top. He's very mellow and very like
Yeah,
calm.
whenever you see interviews, he's just like, yeah, that's how we're gonna do it.
And he's just like
Mhm.
smoking a little doobie with Joe Rogan and then like saying
Yeah.
crazy shit on Twitter. Like, and then you see him have these interviews and he's just like, yeah, we installed the Neuralink for the first time in somebody's brain. You're like, what the
You
fuck?
know, what was really cool too? There was this one YouTuber who I think he knows a lot about. I don't know about physics, but like rockets in general. He took a tour of what is it? What's his company for the space? SpaceX. Is that what it's
SpaceX,
called?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
SpaceX. He took a tour of it, and it was him and Elon, and he was like filming the whole thing, and it was basically like a little walking interview, and you see like the big ass exhaust from the rockets and shit, and then Elon's like, oh yeah, we have this. He like starts going off about like the intricacies of like how the mechanisms work when takeoff, and I think the guy filming is like, oh, and I assume you have that in amongst all the rockets like across the board because that's probably the most efficient. And you see Elon be like, oh shit, that is the most efficient. Like, you're right. And then it even jumps to like a couple months later where he's like, we implemented your idea. It was really good. And I was like, damn, that's really cool that like he's not, I guess, like ashamed or like feels like he's above to be like, I can't
Other
believe like, I didn't
people-
think of that was.
Yeah,
like,
other people still have good ideas.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So I was sitting down with one of the agents today at break while you were in the bathroom. Or on our lunch while you're in the bathroom. He was like, hey, so how does it work? Like, so you're an agent, but you know, like now you're higher than me because you're a mentor. Like, what is the parameters for you to become a mentor and this, that, and the other? And I was like, dude, I'm not higher than you at all. Like, I might just be mentoring, but I'm just a guidance. We're on the same level, bro. I'm learning shit from you guys too. And it made me think, like, nobody is above anybody, no matter what, bro. I don't give a fuck if you're a supervisor, a manager, this, that, the other. You're never too high up on the food chain to learn from everybody else.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
was talking to one of the agents too that I was like, I don't know what she asked. I think she asked like, what's the thing? Like, if I get a lot of like sales and stuff. And I was like, honestly, like I'm learning a lot from talking to everybody here. Like I'm like, you guys are bringing in a lot of new shit to my mind that I'm like, I'm gonna implement all of this.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really good. I think it's a really good marker when somebody's humble enough to take something from somebody and also give them credit.
No,
110%, bro. And I think I really do think that there was more that I learned from the kids I coached in dance than I ever taught them.
Mhm.
You know, there was more that I actually like, because all I taught them was dance steps, like in actuality, right? But I gained so much through them, through their, you know, like their innocence. You know what I mean? These were young teenagers and, you know, kids in middle school and shit. And it was like, it reminded me to laugh. It
Mhm.
reminded me to be playful. It reminded me to do these things where I was teaching them like, oh, you got to be disciplined and, you know, do your moves and show up to class, blah, 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 blah. I may have instilled that in them, but they gave me so much. Shout out Sharky, my man Isaac Flores, the first little homie I ever had. That's my fucking. His name is Sharky. Yeah, his name is Isaac Flores, and he's probably one of the best dancers I've ever had the joy of being around. Let alone one of the fucking funnest kids that I've ever experienced, besides Elijah. Like being around him made me want to be a dad. You know what I mean? Being around that little kid
That's
made me,
cool.
bro. Story for another time. If you guys could pick for physical training, right? Physical training, 0, David Goggins or Jocko Willing.
I don't know who Jocko
Fuck is
Willing
Jocko Willing?
Oh my god, you guys don't know who Jocko Willink is?
No.
Oh Fuck.
But all I would
Next
want
question.
to hear as I'm on my run is, who's going to carry the boats? I'm like, fuck, you're right. Goggins, you're right. Fuck. And I just got to run.
Have you ever
another
seen that
30
video
miles.
where he's like training that dude and he's making him fucking work on the elliptical and the guy's like getting off and throwing up and he's like, all right, get back on, and he's like going back and he's going, bro.
Alright, maybe
You
never
are
mind.
talking
Goggins-
about Tony. You're talking about Tony fucking Ferguson, and
Mm-hmm.
he's from Oxnard. He's a UFC fighter. Put some respect on his name.
Is that Tony Ferguson that did that video?
Was that?
Wait,
Stay hard.
Goggins was training Ferguson?
Yeah, Tony. That was
Oh,
Tony
bro.
Ferguson.
Oh, I didn't. I just saw the clip and I was like, bro, this is the most holy fuck. If I'm running to the point where I'm fucking
Throw it up.
bent over throwing up and you're telling me get the fuck back on, like, what the fuck is this, a puking rally? Like, what are we doing?
Sly AOV practice. Bro, we were at an AOV practice.
Wait, what's
And-
AOV?
Academy of Villains. It was
Oh,
a
okay.
hip hop. It was a hip hop troupe. And bro, these practices would be so fucking insane. And I remember, I like I didn't even know Sylvester was in the restroom, but I snuck out because I needed to go throw up. And I remember I walked in. I was like, damn. I see him. He's like washing his hands and washing his face. I was like, yo, this shit's fucking crazy. He goes, I just threw up. I was like, I'm about to throw up. And dude, I
Oh
went
my God.
threw up into the fucking toilet, went back in there and just got my ass whipped for like another 2 hours, bro.
Jesus Christ.
That was bro, and that was every fucking day. Every day, bro. It was verge of passing out, verge of throwing up. Like,
But if you
You're
watch
looking at the clock.
AOV videos, you know why. Like, look
Yeah.
at how fucking pristine and in tune everybody. Bro, that's a crazy dance group. AOV was
Yeah, it-
nuts.
so for save, for business, right, or social media stuff of that nature,
Okay.
two coaches. Which one do you pick? Right, of these two coaches, which one do you pick? Tony
For
Robbins
business. For business.
For
I
business.
fucking hate
For
Tony Robbins.
or Gary Vaynerchuk?
Ooh,
Oh, I'm going
fuck.
Gary V all day, bro.
Gary Vee is sick. He's so positive. He's so nice.
Tony Robbins, I would say Tony Robbins is more successful financially, but Gary V is more he's more fruitful. He knows how to touch people more than Tony Robbins does.
Yeah.
And I like that
So would you
more.
agree with that, Zero?
Huh?
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I know of them both, but yeah, Gary Vee is definitely the one who's the more influential out of the two, I'd say.
Well, to go back, I would take Jocko Willings for my fucking physical trainer. Okay, fuck off, both of you. Second, I would say Gary Vaynerchuk as well.
Yeah.
Shout out Gary V. It's the reason why I started this fucking podcast.
Gary V, god damn it. Can you get on we'll do 5 minutes of you on the podcast for whatever the fuck price you want. God damn it. 5
Dude,
minutes.
5 fucking seconds, dude. Just come and say what up, shout out, and then dip.
Like,
bro.
yeah, hey, fuck him. You know how he says like, oh man,
What
if
do you
I
want
could,
this
we-
That'd be really cool.
yeah.
No garage selling. I'll sell this for $15 and I paid 10. It's like,
You
dude,
find
you're
a coffee,
millionaire,
you
bro.
find a coffee mug, and it costs you $2, but you could get it for $40 on the internet.
Yeah.
Jesus
I like the
Christ.
video where he's like, I think he was gonna go get like a little cart, like a little motor cart, and he's like, he's asking 100, but I can get it for 40. And then he walks off. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna rip his fucking face off and do it anyway, because he wasn't gonna do it. And then he was like, fuck it. And then he goes and gets it for like 40. I was like, dog, what the fuck? That shit was funny.
I think his
That dude is a
I-
salesman, bro.
He's funny.
ultimate salesman.
That dude is a
What I
salesman.
take from him though is you're never too good. You're never too good to go fucking garage sell, bro, and haggle some guys when you got a
Bro,
pocket full of fucking money.
I'm telling you, I talked about one of his videos clips that I saw on TikTok on a podcast like 2-3 weeks ago. It was like some girl that was so hyped to see him, and
I love
she was
that.
like, "I
I
can't
love
wait
that
to be
clip.
successful and be somebody one day." And he just like grabs her by the shoulders and is like, "You already are somebody." And it's like, how many fucking people need to hear that shit? How many people need to hear that shit? Like we need to stop. We need to stop with this bullshit of That's why we always talk about how social media is just a fucking bull. Granted, we all fucking stream on social media so we can get the podcast out there and that
So
this
we
that
could
and
beat
the other. But
somebody.
but we're regular schmegular ass fucking. I'm no better than anybody that watches the podcast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody's fucking equal, man. That's the crazy part about it. And that shit, bro, that shit really brought me to tears when he said that shit and I saw how happy that girl
Yeah.
got.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, it wasn't her parents, it wasn't her best friends, it wasn't her siblings, it wasn't anybody that's really close to her, that knows her, that understands the things that she's going through in life. But it was this fucking person that she looks up to that told her, like, you already are somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't gotta do anything more. That's
Yeah.
bro, that's fucking powerful as fuck.
There was
Bro.
something he had said on a. I mean, I used to listen to his podcast religiously, and there was a podcast where somebody was talking about like the effects of social media on children, and he was saying like, you guys are so quick to blame this platform. Like, you as a parent need to take responsibility. Like, and if you see that your kid's attitude is changing or their self-image is changing, it's your job. It's not the platform's job. Facebook is Facebook. Instagram is Instagram. And these little girls and boys are going to post their pictures and add their filters and get their likes, right? But it's our job as parents, right? And as people to say, I'm already somebody. I'm already beautiful. I'm already wonderful. I don't need likes to validate this. I don't need any of this shit. And I think that's kind of why I have the attitude towards the podcast the way I do. Like, I don't give a fuck what no one's got to say about it. Because I love the fucking podcast. I love doing this. I love the thing. I love the thing, the main thing. I love it. And so everything else that comes and blows past it don't mean a hill of fucking beans, bro. You know what I mean? Like any
Hill
of
of
the
beans.
negative shit.
Don't mean a hill of beans? What the
I've
fuck?
never heard that shit in my
I've
life.
You guys
never-
never heard that one?
A hill of beans?
A hill of beans.
Bro,
yeah,
you
hill
just
of
said
beans.
some of the most prolific shit on
Yeah,
here,
bro,
and then you
that's
ended it
funny.
with it doesn't mean a hill of beans.
Doesn't mean a hill of beans, bro.
Bro, that clip of Gary Vee reminds me of the song by John Bellion, one of my favorite artists, called Stupid Deep is the song. If you guys give it a listen, it's so good. The message of the whole song is just like we go searching. The whole message is we go searching for all this shit, but we really had it in our backyard this whole time. One of the lines is why has life become a plan to put some money in my hand when the love I really need is stupid cheap? And I was like,
Bars,
oh,
bro.
fucking hell.
That's bars.
And then, bro, it's such a like, and that song is one of the songs that he goes over like the process of writing it. And he is like, bro, me and like the couple of people who were here bouncing ideas off were like fighting tears, just like wiping like tears off on a whiteboard, like writing all this shit out. Dude, it's like, bro, the goosebumps, bro. I'm saying, like, that song is so fucking good. That clip reminds me of that song so like perfectly. But yeah,
That's a bar, bro.
yeah, that whole song is like that. It's just like line after line of like, I don't know. We what if I think it's like, what if the path I've tried to sow was always here? You know what I mean? Just like the path I've always been trying to like fight my whole life to cut. It's always been clear for me to go through, but I keep fighting it. Like, yeah, that whole song is just like an homage to like how we always try to get caught up in the rat race, but it's always been right in front of us. It's a beautiful song, bro.
Bro, you're gonna have to send me the link to that joint.
Yeah, bro. I'll send you guys. I'll send in the
I'm
group
gonna
chat.
bump it loud as fuck tonight.
Last one I have.
Last
Last
one.
one.
We made it through the whole
Last-
list.
There's a couple, but I'm like, whatever. So, but for zero, let's start off with zero. Best compliment you've ever received.
I was jokingly gonna be like, why did anybody ever think you were gay?
I'll be right back.
The best compliment I've ever gotten. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I guess
If
like
anyone in chat has any questions they want to throw down, hit it.
yeah, throw them down, throw them down. I'm trying to think on like what's like the best compliment. Maybe I think my hair. Honestly, people. I really like when people compliment my hair because like this is my mom's hair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I straightened it for a long time because I didn't like it because I never liked the curls. But once I like embraced it and I was like, oh, I guess this is my hair. People started really liking it and like people are like, oh, I love your hair. I love the curls. That's my favorite thing to hear now. Because one, I like my hair, but also, I don't know, it's just nice. It's nice to get complimented on that specific
That's,
part of me.
that's beautiful. Save best
Mm.
compliment you've ever gotten.
Can I share two?
Yeah.
First one is hands down, you're a great dad. That's
Mhm.
the best. But let me just put it to you like this: I only like hearing that compliment from somebody that's seen an interaction between me and my son. I don't like
Mm.
hearing that. I don't like hearing that from people that have never like seen or knows how I am with my son, because I feel like it's invalid. No offense to anybody that's ever told me that. And also, your mom did a great job
That's a
Mm.
good one. That's a really good one.
because that one hit like it's nice for me, but it's always about what people say behind your back that matters the most. And like in actuality, those people are saying those things about my mom behind her back.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know. Like she'll probably never hear that from those people, but it's like it's just like a out in the universe type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my mother that much that it means a lot to me that somebody would say that. And she did a great job in my opinion. I mean I've made my fair share of mistakes and fucked up in my life, but she did a good job. She raised a decent human being. Love you, mom.
Love you, Mama Save. Um, yeah, I think the good dad one is for any parent, right? Like you're the best dad, best mommy, whatever. I think that's blatantly obvious is impactful, right? So I won't go with that one. Um, I think one was Sharky. His parents had said that I changed his life, and I think that was so impactful to know that a parent came to me and said that I changed their kid's life. And I only really got to coach him for like a year. But this was all these years later, right? And one recently was my mom. Um, she said that I made her happy as a mother because I got closer to God. And so that one banged different. Because she always said that her failure as a mom was that she didn't have us in church more. And so she told me how happy it made her and that she was proud of me that I got closer to God. And so that one was very, very recently. That one was probably one of the best compliments I ever got. Again, guilty pleasure. I love my mama, man. I loves my mama.
Yeah. The the changing the life thing is like I always said my life would be complete. Well, now that I have Peanut is a little bit different, but before I had Peanut, I always said my life would be complete if I knew that I changed somebody's life. And I've met thousands of people within my lifetime, you know what I mean? But now that I'm older, now that I've gotten a bit older and like I have Peanut, you know what I mean? I know that somebody's life has changed now because I have a child and I'm the one who's shaping and molding him into whatever he's going to be when he grows up. But now to me, it's less important if I know that I changed somebody's life than the importance of actually changing somebody's life.
Mm.
Now I don't want to know. Because like I said, it's better to like what you say behind my back because it's just the essence of that being spoken upon, not in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a nice feeling. You know what I mean? Like when I'm gone, I want you to be like, damn, that shit was that shit was like I do this now because of Cisco or
Mhm.
whatever. You know what I mean?
That's
Or I
like the
don't
whole
do this now because of that.
That's like the whole philosophy of like if you're a good person or a good leader, you'd never have to say it. Something like
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, bro. Oh my. I'm not even gonna get back into that shit because there was some shit that happened this week. And it's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday, bruv.
that. Tuesday.
Tuesday, ain't it?
It's only Tuesday. Isn't it?
One more. I got one more because I don't know how this one's gonna go. But we'll go zero.
What's up?
What is one thing that we don't know about you that you think we would be surprised by?
Ooh,
I
that's a
don't
hard
know.
one to answer.
I feel like y'all know a good chunk of me.
What was the question again? Say the question again. What's one thing that you don't know that you'd be surprised to know?
What's one thing about you? Wait, how did I write it?
What's one thing that we don't know about you that we'd be surprised to
Yeah,
know?
what's one thing that we don't
Okay, I
know
got
about
one.
you that
I
we'd
got one.
be surprised by?
Save, you want to go first? I genuinely don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open book.
I've bowled a 300 twice in my life.
Wow,
That's pretty good.
that's damn near a perfect score, dude.
That is a perfect score.
Is that a perfect score? I thought it was
Yeah.
320.
No, 300.
Is it 300?
Oh,
I bowled a 300 twice in my life.
that's crazy. That's
My
really good.
father, who never watched me skate, barely watched me skate, watched me dance maybe once in my life. I used to be part of a bowling league when I was a kid, and so if you get one strike, he would give us $5, and if we got 2 strikes in a row, you would get $20, and then if you got a turkey, he would give us $50. That was his incentive when he would go watch his bowl. And I bowled a perfect. I've bowled a perfect 300 twice in my life.
That's crazy. I thought of one. Mine would be that I'm a pretty good shot when it comes to like guns. I have pretty good aim.
Oh yeah.
This fucking liberal is good with fucking guns. Would you look at that? Who would have fucking
That's
thunk
kind of
it?
hot, dog.
That is sexy. Hey, show me your dick, dude.
I'll
Real
show
quick.
you my. No. Anyway, go.
You know what I just realized?
What?
We're not going to hear dude, Zero, we're not going to hear you tell your dad good night.
Oh yeah.
No, bro.
Don't make him more sad than he are. Wait, stop. Don't do
No,
that.
but I genuinely
Don't
thought the
stop.
same about this. That I'm like, I feel like I'm getting over it pretty quickly, actually.
He's
that I
like,
don't,
oh, hey, fuck my dogs,
that I
fuck
don't-
my dad, my
no.
stepmom. You know, I don't need them
Not
anymore.
that I don't miss them, obviously, but I actually went to the house the other day, to like my dad's house, and I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like home anymore, like weirdly, and because things had already kind of changed, they had like shifted some things around. And I was like, damn, y'all didn't even fucking miss me that much. I mean, y'all have shit in my room already.
This motherfucker's room is like a workout room now. Shit.
And I was like, damn.
It's his dad's fucking man cave. All right, let me ask you a question. Now that you have your own crib,
Yeah.
because I know you had dogs at the other crib.
Oh, I'm so glad they're gone.
Did your old lady have pets too?
No.
Do you guys plan on getting any type of pet?
No, bro.
Not even a fish?
Not even. Oh, maybe. I think that's kind of up to her, but because she would be taking. I don't want any pets, bro. I talked to you about this briefly, but selfishly, I don't want any pets because I don't want to have the responsibility to take care of them, and I think that's
You selfish
responsible
prick.
of me because like I don't want to give them like a lesser life or anything like that. Not that I would treat them like shit, but I just don't want to take care of them anything right now. You know what I mean? I just want to chill, not have to like worry about my dog. I gotta feed him.
Did you get a blender?
Take him out of shit. Not yet. We will.
That was a random
But yeah.
question. I apologize. It's inside story. Oh.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's like super surprising, but dude, I used to be like hardcore atheist.
What the fuck?
Ooh,
Where the
hardcore
fuck did
atheist
that
is
come from?
wild.
Wait, where did that come
Hard-
from?
The question of
Yeah.
what was something
What-
about
Oh
me that was
shit,
Elijah?
bro!
Yeah.
That was holy fuck. That was so left field for me just now because we're over here talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Yeah. No, that was. So if I could
Yeah,
answer,
bro,
if
you
I
have
had a
to
chance,
answer.
Bro, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so left field for me just now. Holy shit.
Wait, what's the if you would, what was the biggest like pivotal moment to you being like, oh nah, like I gotta get good with God? Or if there was one, or is it just
Wow,
like an
what a question.
accumulation?
it started off. It started off with um singing at the drum at powwows, and I started to learn like some of the practices of the old way. Um, there was that, I think, kind of like reintroduced me, right? Like rekindled that spark. But it was when I found out about Elijah. When I found out I was going to be a dad, I was like, I have to get right with God. I have to do these things.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah.
For the
And
sake
before
of
then,
what though?
well, before then, I knew there was something bigger than me that controlled all this shit, right? And helped the tides ebb and flow, right? And for Elijah, I said, I have to atone for my own sins so that he doesn't. I don't want to watch my son suffer because I was too crass or too foolhardily and listen to advice of you're okay, you don't need to change. No, I need to change. There's pieces of me that are not okay and it has to change. And when he was born, Cisco, I mean, dude, but it was like, oh my God, like God is present here. Like God is in this room right now with me. Like I just watched birth, this magical power that women have, and me as a man having to stand back and watch this happen. I can't assist. There's no way for me to assist. Like her safety, her well-being, my child's safety and well-being is in somebody else's hands right now, you know. And I remember holding him and I told him, God loves you. That was the first words that I said to my son is God loves you. And I went to his other ear and I said, Mommy and Daddy love you. And I said, Mommy first. I said, Mommy and Daddy love you. And after that, I was like, the closer I feel like I got to Elijah was because the closer I got to Elijah was because I had a closer relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? I had a closer walk with him, which allowed me to have a closer walk with my son. But I never got it confused and never conflated it. It was, I have to walk with God first, and then I can be a good man for his mom, and then I can be a good dad for him.
Do you think
You know,
do you think that good men exist without that walk?
I think proper men do. Yeah, I
But
think it's
but not
possible,
good men.
but not good men. No, I think proper men, and it's a fine line, because there's people who could find the light on their own accord, right, and that's fine. And then there's men who find the light through a higher power. And my question is, if I'm a betting man, who is more likely to trek off of a path? One who walks alone or one who's guided by somebody? One who's showing you this is the path. I can show you. Just walk with me. And when you're tired, I'll carry you. I'll be beside you. I'll guide you. I'll give you words of encouragement, right? I'll show you how to live a better life, right? If I'm going to bet, who am I betting on? I'm betting over here, right? With somebody who's already walked the path, who's already done the thing, right? Like, who do we all want to learn from? People who've already done the fucking thing, right? Like the Gary V's, the people who've done the thing, who speak the language we understand.
Yeah, but you in this opportunity or in this case, you need to have proof that that walk has been walked, right? Some type of evidence that the walk has been walked.
Yes.
I'm being a little combative here, just a little bit. I'm just giving you a heads up. But you need to have some type of evidence that that walk has already been walked, right? Not just the word of, or in this case, stories that have been passed down from God knows how long.
Well, so let's take the books for what they are, right? The Jews recognized Christ as a person who was a messenger of God. The Muslims believe that Christ was a prophet of God. Jesus himself looked at him and said, I am the way, right? So if all three of you guys can come to agreement that this one dude is pretty special, okay, right? Let's take a closer look at this. All three of them, 100% through and through, say that there's something bigger than us that we need to rise to, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's such a, and forgive me for being combative, but I feel like that's such a poor argument, because you have the Romans, the Greek, and the Egyptians who all believed in multiple gods that did multiple different things, right? The god of sun, the god of death, the god of this, that, and the other, the god of water, the god of love, the god of anger,
Mm-hmm.
all these other things that came
Mhm.
prior to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I not? So why should I believe those three? Well, you just said Jews, Muslims, Christians,
Uh-huh.
but then I just brought, Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians who
Which is
had
fair.
the same beliefs in these gods, or their gods, but now now you point to the direction of a singular God who came after these gods did. You see what I'm saying?
You apologize for being combative, and I'm gonna use this to help explain my point. You apologize for being combative, right? Would you say that combative is your whole personality? Would you say that being combative is who you are?
Not even
Or is it a
close.
piece? It could be a piece of your personality, right? When you
Sure.
want to debate somebody, you know how to get combative.
Sure.
Would you say that when you discipline your son, that is the only side of you that he ever sees?
No.
Okay. So I look now in the past and I say, maybe they got it wrong where this polytheistic idea of multiple gods, maybe they were seeing different sides of the one God's personality. And maybe they couldn't attribute it. They didn't want to attribute it to a singular source. So they said, oh, there must be something controlling this, and then something controlling that, and something controlling this. And me, in my mind, I say, no, it's one person, and we're seeing different sides of him. And that's why even in some of the scriptures that you read, even Greek gods slept with the humans, right? They
Wait,
had
but
different parts of their personalities. So the personality of the Godhead, right? You see the wicked, you see the soft, you see the mercy, you see this, you see that, you see this, but it's the one thing. It's the one thing, not five, right?
but
Which I
at
used
this
to.
point, at that point, you're making God a tangible. You're making God a tangible like being.
Is he not?
I'm asking you, is he?
God is as real as this table is sitting right here in front of me.
Yeah, but what form does he take? Is my question.
All of them.
So you're saying that God
Anything.
can take. You're saying God can take the form of a human.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, based off biblical, right? Jesus Christ is the
Mhm.
form, right?
Even Zeus presented himself in the form of an eagle.
But how? So how? Well, then how do we sit here and explain the fact that Christ is the Son of God if He is the being?
Now, I think that's also a part of that's a little open to interpretation, right? But allegedly, right now, I have a problem sitting here saying Christ is my Lord and Savior and all this stuff. I have a problem accepting that, and that's my own walk and debate I have with God itself. But there's a piece of the God body that's born inside of all of us, don't you think?
I don't think that. Personally, I don't
There's a
think
piece.
that.
There's a piece of the God body that's inside of all of us, right? If we're made in his likeliness and in his image, one. Two, we are carbon-based beings,
I don't
right?
think. Hold on. I think go back to what you were just saying. And I'm sorry to bring this up, Zero. I know you got, but we were talking about religion earlier, kind of with prayer. So I apologize that it has gotten to this conversation. But we're born in the likeliness of God. Now, if you with that being
Mhm.
take, I don't think that means it in a physical sense. I think that goes back to like what I'm saying is like living your life through the eyes of a child, right? With no hate in your heart, with love, positivity, light, and all things that you do. That's what I believe
Mhm.
the likeness of God would mean in that sense of things. I don't think it has anything to do with being human.
It also speaks of his image, right? And when God has presented himself, right? If I remember right, when he presented himself to Moses, he presented his back. And when he presented himself to Adam and Eve, he was walking through the garden. So we're trying to take such a grand thing, right? And say, well, how can it take the form of a human? How could it not?
No, I'm
How
not
if
saying that
it's
it
so
can't
grand?
take the. I'm not saying that God cannot take the form of a human, right? He
Mm-hmm.
can do anything. If God exists, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying that we're born in his likeness. That would mean that
His
he
likeness
would,
and his image.
sure, and his image. That would mean that he is of human background.
No, we are of a godly background.
But that's saying that God is human.
No, we are gods.
I don't.
Flip it.
I see what you're
Flip it.
saying.
We
I see what you're saying. I understand, and I understand where you're
Mhm.
coming from, and but I just don't see how. I just don't see the correlation when all these images of these other gods are very similar, and some even non-human based.
I think though, but like a lot of the times, whenever we think of the Bible, they're all stories.
Mhm.
So, like Putch said, there's always a level of interpretation to the way that it was originally even posed, maybe. So, the made in his image could even be in like I guess, a version of his image that he chose, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Not that gods look like us or we look like gods. It could be in an image that he chose that is worthy of evolution and iterations that he wanted. Um, I don't know. I'm
So
just
like
like,
let's
yeah,
say that Moses, so when Moses first saw the burning bush, right? That was his first sight of God.
Correct.
Now let's say Moses went to go explain to the Hebrews what he saw. He would paint God as a burning bush, right? So is that a accurate depiction? So when I see these other depictions, like to what Zero was saying is there's these depictions because maybe this is the way that he presented himself to them in a certain time, right?
mm-hmm.
Masonry's taught in degrees, right? Why? Why is it taught in degrees? Because just like God presenting himself to Moses, if you were given all this knowledge at one time, it would cripple your mind. You wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't even begin to fucking comprehend all the shit that's being thrown at you. So if he presented himself to somebody like me, it would blow my fucking brain. Just like Thor, he goes, what is it? He goes, he's talking about the mind stone. He goes,
Another Thor quote.
he goes, it'll corrupt your mind, but thankfully for me, I am mighty. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like for the layman human being, this sight of this majestic thing would cripple our fucking brains. Bro, imagine you stood on fucking Mars and looked at Earth. What would that fucking image look like? What would it actually do to you? You wouldn't look at Earth ever the same, ever again. You would
yeah.
never look at it ever again the same. Look at somebody's eye. When you see somebody's eye and the point of where they've been struck by lightning, tell me, tell me, tell me things when you see it and experience it for the first time, these magical powers, how it doesn't change you. Because you will literally
No,
have
and
lightning bolts burned into your eyeballs.
I'm not disagreeing that the because we talked about this. We talked about something similar to this today, about how we have to enjoy the fact that we have mortality because of the fact
Mhm.
that there is literally millions of trillions of opportunities for a human to exist on a daily, hourly, minute by minute case, and we are the ones lucky enough to be here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we've had this conversation before. I definitely believe that there is some type of higher being.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to not believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I just it's hard for me to fathom the fact that I'm born in the likeness of another being, right? Because if I was born in the likeness of other beings, and there's perfections and imperfections or things of that nature, right? And if I'm born in the likeness of a being that is not saying that God is perfect, because
Mm-hmm.
there's no such thing as perfection. But if there is perfection, he's the closest to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is everything that is and isn't. He's everything that's right
Mm-hmm.
and wrong. He's everything that the alpha, the omega, the yin, the yang, all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to believe with all the imperfections that happen throughout the creation. You can't get everything
Mm-hmm.
right, but you get more shit right than you don't. It's hard for me to fathom the likeness of being born in the likeness of somebody another being that looks like me. I don't believe that. I personally don't believe that.
Okay, so I won't speak of like the world because so much happened based off of our free will. But let's take the imperfections of our body. What to you is imperfect may be perfect to someone else.
Cancer
Right?
is perfect to somebody.
What's that?
Cancer is perfect to somebody.
That I'm not talking about like illness, right? But somebody might say, "Look how I have a misshapen face or a
Sure,
misshapen limb,"
sure,
right?
sure.
Just because you deem it imperfect, he deemed it perfect, right? You were made this way. There's a
Perfect in the
certain
sense of
purpose.
what though? Because if I was born
There's
in your likeness and you are perfect, should I not be
Mhm.
born like you?
No, no.
Why not? Why
If
not?
we were all born, because if we were all born the same, right? If we were all born looking exactly the same, right? Would pretty eyes still be
No, no,
pretty
no, no, no,
eyes,
no, 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 no. I think this is where
right?
you're mistaken. The likeness of, right? 2 arms, 2 legs, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, a mouth, a nose with 2 nostrils, ears. That is the likeness. That is the likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
born without, or if I'm born with 1 arm, 9 fingers, 1 foot,
Born
and one
without.
leg, born without,
Remember, remember that not having the original sin is not the biting of the apple. The original sin was Eve and Adam looked at each other and said, of all this great garden, that's the one thing that we can't touch. Let's go touch it.
correct. Hmm.
They saw lack. They said, this is the one thing that we go without. And they made a conscious decision to go and do it. Right. So we say, oh, I'm without, how could I be perfect when I'm without this, when I'm without that, when I'm without this? This body is nothing but a casing, right? This is not truly who we are. These eyes and this nose and these lips. The real God's image and likeness is here, right? The 10 fingers and the
You're talking
two
about
eyes and
internal.
the
You're talking
nose.
about internal.
This flesh is just so I could recognize you. Jacob, right? The father of Israel, Jacob had a broken leg. He had his hip popped out by an angel and he walked with a limp. Then was named Israel. And he was fathered the king of the Jews. There's these things we get so caught up in the flesh, what's right here, when really it's all this plumb and upright.
Plum.
Plum.
Plumb. You
Plum.
never used a plumb bob?
No.
No, but I understand what you're saying, and I do understand what you're saying. But the flesh is of importance.
No, it's not.
It kind of is.
No.
If your son was not made of flesh, if your son was not made of flesh and bones, in what way could you love him?
Well, first, my son existed long before he took his body.
That I agree with.
Okay.
That I agree with. So how would you physically or even consciously show your son love had it not been for the flesh and bone of his existence?
I have an experience provided to me from upstairs. That's where I think that's where we may have a confusion with that statement. Right? Him taking form is a provision by the Almighty. This is all provided to me by somebody else. Right? Like how they say in Guardians of the Galaxy, there's the hands and the hands that guide the hands. You know what I'm saying? So though he may be my son born of flesh, he was a great energy way longer before I ever met him, before I ever held him in my hand.
No, that I agree with. That I 100%
So him
agree.
being born into my hands, right? Him being in my hands has got nothing to do with how I love him or where I love him, when I love him. That is just purely an experience I get to have.
So
That's just-
okay, so why have you? Okay, here's my question to you then. Consciously knowing that were energy prior to this, right?
Mhm.
Because you do believe that, right? I think we've already had this conversation prior to you.
Hold on,
Prior
before
to
we move, because the one thing, the way that I see it, right, is if you ran with that same thought process, is a mother and father still allowed to mourn a child that was never born?
absolutely,
They never took birth.
but they understood that there was flesh and bone that was created prior to.
Not flesh and bone. There was life in there. There was
Sure,
life.
life. There was flesh though, bones being created, plumb. But okay, so hear me out then. Hear me out on this
But
question.
even
Then.
before the flesh and blood, like before all of that, there was the essence of
Well, it was the essence
somebody.
of the thought of, right? The thought of
No,
flesh
not
and
the
bone.
thought of. The
Because I wouldn't
essence
love
of.
Elijah
Sure,
less
the
if he
essence.
was born. I wouldn't love Elijah less if he was born without limbs and deaf, dumb, and blind.
That's not what I'm saying, and that's not. I'm not. I'm now past the perfection of the human body.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just talking about the flesh of your child.
If he was born as a fucking tomato,
Sure.
I would still love him.
If he was born as a tomato, you would love your son the same that you love him right now.
Absolutely.
In inanimate, I would. It's not inanimate because tomatoes are live, but a being with no sight, no hearing, no verbal communication at all, no point of emotion. I genuinely, I love you, Push, but I genuinely do not believe that statement at all.
100%, because scripture itself says that children are given to us as a reward from God for our labors and our love.
Okay, so let me go back to what. So you're gonna tell me that if your son was born as a pet rock, you would love him the same as the son that you currently have?
Absolutely. I say Lilo's my first child.
But that is a conscious being.
She's a dog.
That's a
That
conscious
came to me at
being.
3 months old.
That's a conscious being, though. That's way different than a fucking pet rock.
Prove it doesn't have consciousness.
Prove that a rock has no consciousness.
They used to say trees didn't have consciousness.
I'm talking about a rock, not a tree. That's why I said
I'm
what I
just-
said about a tomato and changed it to a rock. Okay, so
I'm
here's
just-
here's what I'm going toward. I'm trying to remember what the fuck I was gonna say to you because I got off track. But so you're telling me that you're saying that your son was your son prior to him being born, right? Which I agree with. I do agree with you on that statement, right?
Elijah was already his own thing before he was given to me. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that kind of changes what I was going to ask you because you said what you had originally said was Elijah was my son prior to him being born. That's what you said.
Mhm.
Is
Both
that what you're-
statements are true. Both
Okay,
statements are true.
you're agreeing that Elijah was your son prior to him being born.
Yes.
Okay, because what I'm going to ask you is based off of that statement alone.
Mhm.
So are you experiencing the love that you have for him now? If he was your son prior to him being born,
Mhm.
and you've never experienced a love like you did prior to him being here, or
Mhm.
maybe you have in a past life, but I'm talking about consciously you now as you yourself, Putch, Corpse.
Mhm.
Why have you never experienced love like that before? What brought that now instead of
Because I was
before?
conscious enough to accept it.
Except what?
There, the experience that's happening, between me and this child.
Yeah, him becoming flesh and bone is what I'm saying.
I loved him from the moment I heard his heartbeat. Right? I loved that fucking guy from the moment I saw the fucking
But
pregnancy test.
he would argue that like the it's from the first time that you could even have a sign that he existed, there's flesh and blood to speak of. I feel like is what Save would say. But I would imagine that Corpse would say the only reason he could recognize the son of flesh and blood is because within time, as mortals, as human, we could only experience that. That's the kind of scope in our if you see like a spectrum of color, we have so much that we can't see. There's like this little fraction of shit that we could see. But I feel like even in time, there's so much that we can. There's like that whole radiant, but probably even a fraction of a smaller percentage that we can experience, and that's what now is. But if we could widen that to almost maybe even like just a quarter of that, we could probably experience things that hasn't happened or people who will never exist. Because time wise, the reason we could experience this is because we need some physical boundary that we're also bouncing off of.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm trying to bring into fruition is the fact that because you're getting the allowance to experience it is what is bringing you the love and that you feel because of flesh and blood is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
There's things that are revealed to us in time, right? It's not your time yet. We say this to our kids all the time, right? It's not your time to learn that yet, right? And so I zoom out and I say that guy up there said, "You know what? You're going to love this child. You're going to love him wholeheartedly, but it's not your time yet." Right? That thing that makes up my son long existed long before I was born, right? And I was chosen and then rewarded, right?